Well, here we are again. It's that dreaded 90-day check-in. Well, I don't really think it's a dreaded 90-day check-in these days. It's just something we have to do. But I thought I'd go over again the whole importance of the 90-day check-in. We still seem to have a lot of people confused about this thing here. So I'm going to title this one, What is the 90-day check-in? Anyway, so I'm now just arriving at the Chanya Immigration Centre. You remember this one? You know, the big sailing ship or the big cruiser sort of type building. Anyway, just walking up there now. You've got to go through the gate and all that sort of stuff and show your ID, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we'll check it when we're inside. Yeah, so today I thought, stuff this bloody traffic bullshit that we have to deal with every time we come here before. I said, I'm going to sleep in, bypass the major peak hour traffic and get here just before they close for lunch. That's one of the things that I wanted to make a point out. Here at the Immigration Centre in Chanya, they do close between 12 and 1 p.m, right, and basically everything stops. So I'm just coming up to quarter to 12. I will get my little ticket, right, then I'll go and have some lunch. Yeah, so the queue there is 315, my ticket is 352. We've got 10 minutes. Yeah, so I'm just going to go sit down, relax, have lunch, have a wander around the bottom and have a chat while we wait for 1 o'clock when we can go back in. Alas, there's nothing special going on the upstairs. We usually have these markets up here, but there's obviously nothing special going on today. But we've got this sort of set markets and stalls down here where you can get food, sit down, relax, and I might have a Chester's grilled lunch. Yeah, so getting down to the main subject today, what is this 90-day check? No, of course, most people understand that there is a 90-day reporting process that we have to do. If you're on what they call a long stay visa, and that includes a retirement visa, it's still a visa for staying a long time in the country, they expect you to tell you, the Immigration Department expects you to report your whereabouts and where you're staying every 90 days. This seems to have, always the same sort of questions being thrown at you about why, where, how, why don't you do it this week, why don't you do it that way. So I thought I'd spend the time, because we don't really spend the time covering those details. We tend to sort of have Chanya with us and we're looking at markets and looking at whatever else. And the 90-day check has just been something that we're throwing in here. But as for today, I'm just going to cover off all the bases. The Karabuta burger here at Chester's is actually not too bad. Yeah, so by immigration law, every 90 days of staying in the country, you need to check in at an immigration department. These immigration departments exist in every province. Unfortunately, I think from every bit of research I've done, there is only one location per province that happens. There may be a second one in Chonburi, but I really don't know. For Bangkok, well, there's actually 3 immigration departments in Bangkok, but for foreign expats like myself and other people, there is only one we can use, which is the one here at the Thailand Immigration. There's a map pin down below in the description box, just so if you want to know roughly the location. Yeah. So unlike the extension process that there's been a lot of talk about recently, where you've now got to have your money in the bank and show your bank reports and all this sort of stuff, and you've got to follow up, I believe, now 3 months after that particular process, again showing your bank account, showing the money and all that sort of stuff. Still not enough out there about how that process is running. Hopefully I have all the bugs of that ironed out by the time September comes around when I got to do mine. So that means, in September I will have a 90-day check. I will also have a visa extension process, which is pretty much an all-day exercise where I got to get to the bank, 8:30 in the morning, get the statement signed and dated and everything else. Then make my way out here and grab the queue number and pretty much do the extension and the 90-day report in the one day. It's a challenge, but as I said, it's only 1 day a year. Alternatively, the 3 other 90-day quarters that we've got to go through, of course, is just a process of reporting your address. Now you can do that 3 ways. There is a postal method, but if you're Australian like me, they want you to post your passport in the Thai Postal Service. And I can tell you there's been some horror stories I've read over the last 2.5 years about posties, hoarding all the mail. They go and pick it up from the postal department and they never deliver the mail. And again, it comes down to the whole thing. As an Australian passport holder, that passport should never leave my sight or be out of my possession by law. So putting it in the mail, well, I think it's a can of worms there that you just really don't want to open. But some people do, and some people have never had a problem. Again, gets down to this whole thing of personal risk, personal responsibility. Like there's nobody out here that's going to really save your ass if something goes wrong. If that thing gets lost over the 2-week period that it's happening, through the postal service or getting here or getting out of your hands, right, it's quite an exercise to go and have a passport renewed. And then again, another legal thing, you're in the country without a passport. Oh my God, do you really want to have those sort of issues, coming and biting your ass? Never let the passport out of your sight, is my rule of thumb. And no amount of conversation with other people will ever change my mind with that. Now the second method, of course, for reporting is doing it online. Now there is an online service. I'll actually put the link to the online service in the description box below. You can check it out for yourself. Because if you're preparing to come over here, you probably want to do a bit of reconnaissance on that one. When I first got here, the first time I wanted to do that 90-day check, I went online. And then the website was working. Except, unfortunately, for the first check-in, you cannot do it online. You actually have to do it in person, so you get your little slip, because that slip number is required when you do the online check. It's a second online check, or a second check that requires that first check process to authenticate who you are. The website was working that time. Anyway, so I went in, did the 90-day report. I think it was I don't know what log number was, the December-ish 2016 was my first video I did that. I think I'll put a link to that video as well. Probably in that little check whatever thing. You can go and check that out. That was my first experience of doing the check-in here, and all the paraphernalia was required with that. So when it came round to my March check-in 2017, I went to do the online service, and the website was down, so I had to do the manual running. Then it came around to, I think it's a June check-in. Again, jumped on like June or July or whatever. So I went online again, and the website was down. That website was down pretty much all of 2017. So I'd sort of lost all confidence in that. And of course the other thing was going through my mind, well, at least when you come and do the manual check-in, you've got to go and show your passport or some identification when you come in the door. They take your photos, so there's a photo check that you've been at the office. Right? You actually get somebody to actually sign that little form, and you take it away with you. as I've never done the online check-in process, I don't know how that's done, because ideally all you're going to do there is print out something in black and white on your printer to carry around with you, which could be easily sort of forged and easily subjected to sort of inquiry as to whether it's actually a genuine one or it's a fake one or whatever. So again, you've got to ask that question. If you're going to sort of try to bypass the whole running into the check-in centre or the immigration department, no matter where you are, those processes that you need to think about between each of those check-ins. There is identification checks people will do. You're supposed to carry a copy of that little slip with you everywhere you go. Now there are some grey areas in there. I carry a photocopy of that, and I carry a photocopy of my passport. I also have my foreigner's ID card. I also have my Tabian Barn. I have my foreigner's ID card, which is genuine, always travels with me in my wallet. Everything else is photocopies, and the originals stay in my house. If they want to argue with that, then I'll have an argument with them. But so far, everywhere I've been, they've wanted ID. Showing that foreigner's ID card has been no problem. The only time the foreigner's ID card really doesn't help is when you're going into national parks or establishments that are run by the tourism authority, where you have to pay a fee. Most places I go in where you're going in as a foreigner and you can tie in foreigner prices, like entertainment centres and sort of like third-party organisations. Every time I've shown my foreigner's ID card, I always get in for the Thai price. The only time I've ever had a trouble with the foreigner's price or the dual pricing system is the things that are run by the government. They really need to improve on that, but I'm not going to have a big whinge about it. Anyway, the third method, as I said, is, well, actually there is another method. There is a third method that doesn't require you to actually come here. You can take it to one of these services where they will actually do the running around. I thought I'd just bring that in because this is leading on to the check-in process when you come into a manual. So yeah, there are services that you pay a 200 to 300 baht fee. I think Ethan says he's done it that way. He's actually had to pay more because I think the most recent one he did 3 months ago, he was late by 10 days and he had to pay a fine. But he paid the fine to the service. They come in, do the check-in for you, pay the fine for you, and it's all done. But aside from that, again, they're taking your passport. Again, do you really want to give somebody you really don't know, and you have a certain distrust level, to do the right thing? You pay your fee before you start, I believe, and then hope to God that a couple of days later when you turn up to pick up your passport and the check-in slip, that it's all done properly. Well, again, if you want to do those sort of things, it is a level of personal judgment and personal risk. And unfortunately, there's nobody to save your ass if it goes wrong. Me, I'm quite happy to come in and do the run. As I said, I would have run in on the bike today, but oh God, that run we did last Sunday, my back, actually every part of my bone structure is sore. God, it's a workout. Really, sort of, it comes down to your personal judgment. What you're going to have to realise is the fact that every 90 days you're going to have to tell the Thai immigration authorities where you're living. Luckily for me, I'm always in the one place. Other people tend to bounce around the place. They go from location to location. Again, that can get a little bit difficult. You've got to check in and record your location every time you change your location. If you're staying somewhere for longer than 24 hours, like if you're staying overnight in a hotel somewhere, and that hotel reports and checks you in and uses your ID or uses your passport to check you in, it is their responsibility to report that location to Thai authorities, to Thai immigration authorities. So they have a record of you staying at a hotel in Hua Hin or in Pattaya or in Kanchanaburi or wherever you might want to go. If that's the case, then when you get back to where you normally reside, most people don't realise you need to then go and do a run back into the immigration authority and fill in another one of these 90-day check-in forms because your address has changed from the last. I'll have to check on that with this 90-day. I think that's a change of address. It's a TM28. I can't easily check that for you now. I'll put a link to that down below as well for the actual, whatever it's, if you're 27 or 28, I can't remember. So if you go to a hotel and check in and they take your ID, it's their responsibility to tell, right, they've got a TM30 they have to fill in, right, that tells immigration that you're staying there. As soon as you leave there, it is actually your responsibility to go back to the immigration department with this TM28 and say, no, I'm back at my normal residential address. It can be a real challenging thing if you're going to bounce around from place to place and look at stuff. Not many people actually know those rules, and I thought I'd bring that in as well because it really does come into the whole 90-day check-in process. Again, what is it? It's telling the Thai immigration authorities what your residential address is, right? So wherever you're staying, they want to know. If they want to contact you tomorrow, they've got a phone number and they've got an address. And this is what they're doing. They're always checking. Okay, they haven't checked on my residential address in 2.5 years, but there will be a day when they will, right? Slipping by and try to pretend you're unnoticed and sort of hopefully they don't get caught. Well, yeah, you can do those sort of things. Again, personal responsibility. If you want to take those risks, then fair enough. You have to pay a fine if you get caught. If you do it too often, you get black marks against your name. And whether they actually renew that extension every 366 days or 365 days, well, that's obviously something I'm not going to even take a chance on. I like living here. I like my lifestyle here. I don't want anything to complicate it. I really don't want to go back home. Seriously, I watch everybody else's news reports of what's going on in Australia. Sorry, I don't fancy the idea of Shahara law in Australia in the next 10 years. And I'm sorry, it's going that way because of the stupid whoop asses that are running the country. Quite honestly, I'd rather be under military rule. At least you know where you stand with everything. Anyway, enough of my rambling. I'm going to finish my cold fries, and take a wander around and go and do my check-in at 1 o'clock. Well, I am certainly glad that I came here 10 minutes before lunchtime because the queue's quite long now. So that's getting back to the whole thing. There's a few little restaurants down here for lunch. There's 7-Eleven. There's all sorts of little grocery stores that you can sort of avail yourself to. Down a little market area as well you can wander around. I think we've showed that before. Yeah, so getting back to the fourth method, as I said, the fourth method is just to rock up here and wander through the process and do it all manually. Okay, so you're going to be here, you're going to sit on a chewer stool for an hour or whatever. In my case, I was trying every time up until today, I've always tried to get here earlier and earlier until last check-in. I got here at opening time and seriously, these people must be queuing up here from 7 o'clock in the morning. And especially what we find, or what I've identified is the people queuing up here at 7 o'clock in the morning are like agencies. They're rocking up with, with 10 passports all filled out. And of course, it might take 3 minutes to do the check-in process when you get to the counter, but not when you get, a couple of dozen agencies who are here at 8 o'clock in the morning camping on the doorstep. And what they're doing is they're first in the queue, and they've got 20 passports, 10 passports, So those first maybe 50 tickets on the queue system, it takes a good hour to 2 hours to get through those. And of course, whether the actual Thais or the immigration windows are open. And the last time I was here, I think, when we were here at the 9 o'clock spot, they only had 2 windows open, so it was taking a hell of a long time. So basically, I just said, damn it, I'm not going to rush around. I'm retired. I don't have to stress about this crap. And so that's the whole idea today. I thought just time to pick up my queue ticket before lunch, go and have a relaxing lunch, have a relaxing walk around. And I'm judging by the number on the queue ticket that maybe sort of sitting inside, in the queue for maybe 10 minutes to do the final check-in process and then wander back home. Zero stress. I don't know why I didn't wake up to that one before. Anyway, that's the way I'm going to be doing it from now on, I'm pretty sure. There is plenty of little stalls and everything else to check out when you're out here. It's not like it's going to be boring. It is, of course, nice when you've got the little O-top displays, the one tamboon, one whatever O-top, whatever it stands for, one tamboon, one product, or whatever. So they're always nice to have a look through as well. But there's plenty of stuff down below you can check out, little market stalls, little sort of. It really is a big place here. I just noticed we might not have any O-top stuff up the top, but I haven't even been down this area before. Never bothered to venture down to the south end of the building. But it looks like we've still got little O-top style stores, market stores down here as well. And quite a few of them. But not tell Chanya. I know what she wants to do next time she's here. Again, aside from all the little restaurants we have around here, don't forget they have the food halls. That's 2 large food halls I've counted. But again, something from the mini walk market, I don't know if this is regular or whether the fact that they're just down here instead of up the top. This looks like the stuff that's normally up the top in the big display area, but it looks like it's all down below today. Well, I must say, the whole waiting game and everything else is so much simpler when you don't stress about it. I'll be using this method from now on. Sleep in, wander in at my own leisure, try to get here just before 12, get my little queue ticket, and then you're in and out in pretty much no time at all. And you get a chance to have a wander around and have lunch and do all those just normal things you do in a day. So it might be a clue for other people coming out here. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up and we'll catch up with you guys later. I hope you found that informative. If you like this style of video, let me know down below. I'll try to do more of these informative videos if I'm conversive with the subject, you might sort of say. One of the things I try to avoid is trying to be a know-it-all, because really, it doesn't matter how much you know. The rules could change tomorrow. So you can look like a real idiot. But anyway, quite happy to do these informative sort of style videos if you want me to do. It just depends on what you guys want, and ask me questions and all that sort of stuff. So comment box below. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you want to know, and we'll see if we can take it from there. Anyway, bye for now. Peace out.